to the Motocross Supercross podcast.
What is up, everybody? Episode 108. We are recapping the 250s of what went down in New York State at Unadilla. I'm Adam here with Claudio. What's up, Claudio?
What's going on, my friend? Long time not see.
Yeah, real long time. We got to go over this crazy mud race that happened in the 250s now. We talked about all the craziness with the 450s, and we talked also a little bit about the designations.
Which we'll talk about here, too, because there's a...
That's right. We did have two podium guys racing the designations. So we'll
against each other, yeah.
We'll be talking a little bit about that.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about, we talked about this in our last podcast. The Team USA was announced to represent the United States in the Motocross of Nations. And for the MX class, I guess, or it's going to be Eli Tomac. MX2 is going to be Aaron Plessinger, your current leader for the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship. And then for the Open class, it's going to be Justin Barcia. So, we talked about that on our last podcast, but let's focus on these MX2 guys. It's Dylan Ferrandis, great show this weekend. We're going to get into it in a second. And Aaron Plessinger, who's going to be representing the United States. He said he's looking forward to it. He's never been to a destination. It's his first time going, and he's pretty pumped.
And Dylan Ferrandis being selected by the France team, unlike someone else, Marvin Musquin. So he's going to be representing France, and Marvin's going to be, I guess, cheering him on because he's not on any team.
Yeah, well, Dylan Ferrandis was not picked over Marvin Musquin. If anything, we have to look at Gautier Poulin or Romain Fegbre. Those are the guys that are riding the MXGP and the Open class for the 450 spot. So
crazy, just a big snub. That's just how I feel. I feel like I got snubbed. Sure. But you know what? Let's just jump right into this 250 qualifying times. I don't know how much it says about the race because it was actually dry during this qualifying.
Yeah.
But Savacci had that fastest time. Dylan Ferrandis was second behind him. Justin Cooper, Chase Sexton up there, Shane McElrath. Alex Martin had the sixth fastest times. Jordan Smith, RJ Hampshire, Colt Nichols, Austin Faulkner with 10th. And then Michael Mosman, 11th. And finally, Aaron Plessinger, 12th fastest time. So I remember hearing in the broadcast, they said, stressed. But yeah, that was a terrible time for him, man. 12th place. So I think that once it started raining, it made him happy. He's like, okay, I'm good now.
It's that life, He's just got his brand new baby, so
that's got to be stressful, man.
But it definitely did not show during the motos. In moto number one, after that first 450 moto, they kind of cleaned out the track a little bit,
made at least one or two ruts for them to follow.
Yeah, exactly. It got pretty interesting. We got Michael Mosman with the kind of clean hole shot, as well as Dylan Marion with the 450. And
clean is the best way to say it because coming out of that turn, he's the only one who's clean.
And that's exactly how I mean it too. Like that's how I'm referring to it, as clean.
Yes,
because he was not the muddiest one. So,
big hole shot too. He really dominated too out front. He held everyone off for a minute.
Yeah. I know exactly. Yeah. He led for a little bit, and also he's coming from a couple of good rounds too. So he was feeling pumped for sure.
Speaking of that hole shot, there was two Yamahas down in that first turn. It was one being my fantasy pick, Luke Rensland. He's kind of up from the New York area, and yeah, I thought he would do good, but going down in the first turn really messed that up for me. And then Cody Williams, also another Yamaha, he was down as well. But Ferrandis, he like you said, he was in second, chasing him down, and he looked super aggressive, man. He was trying so hard to get around him. Like, he would catch up, but then he would just take, like, the worst line ever, and then he would fade back and then catch up. And then, actually, Mitchell Harrison ended up passing him for a second. And it was those two Rockstar Husqvarna guys right there just killing it.
Yeah, they had a good weekend, the Husqvarna team.
Very good weekend, except Bailey didn't do as well.
Yeah.
As everyone else. And it seemed like everybody had problems. Like Savacci went down. He had like a high speed crash. He was coming down the hill and like high sides
that was
and
a little
flew
scary,
over the top. Yeah, that was a crazy crash there. I'm happy he was able to finish and stuff.
Yeah.
We saw that same crash by so many people, just high-siding, just get all sketchy and then just boom, right over the top.
It's sketchy. It was sketchy riding it.
It was a good race to watch. Like, I love the mud races, but just everybody's so covered in mud. There's a point where you can't tell everyone apart. But it definitely makes for some exciting racing.
Yeah. Well, Mosman kept leading the race, and then Ferrandis closed it. Every lap, he was getting closer and closer and closer. And then Mosman just put himself out. He just crashed and gave the lead to Dylan Ferrandis.
Yeah, that crash was pretty crazy. A couple laps earlier, Austin Forkner went down there. It was on that double right before the downhill. It looked like a small double, but as soon as Forkner hit it, he just landed right in between and fell. And then actually someone landed on his bike. He was in a sketchy spot there.
Yeah, well, Mosman went down. Like I said, Ferrandis took the lead.
Mosman's crash was pretty crazy. His was he hit that jump and he just threw the biggest whip ever. It was a no-footed, really flat pancake whip, but then just went straight into the ground.
Yeah, they were so far up front. He got up and he was right there in fourth place. And Plessinger made some space on Harrison and ended up getting that second place and right behind Ferrandis. So you had the Monster Energy Yamaha team up front. All we needed was Cooper to get that blue podium. I was really hoping for it.
I know. Cooper just had a bad day.
Yeah.
He said on his Instagram he just had terrible starts and he was coming from behind both races and it was awful. But yeah, Dylan Ferrandis, his mechanic, holding up the pit board, trying to tell him to save his clutch and stuff. His bike's
he let out the clutch. I saw that. And I also noticed that he put the pit board out one time, and it was Aaron Plessinger, and he just kind of said he was fuck, and then he showed Ferrandis the pit board.
That's what I'm saying. He couldn't even tell who his own riders are. They're coming around. They all just look the exact same. They're all just covered in mud, and he's holding his pit board out for the wrong person.
Yeah. So the rest of the race was pretty much the Yamaha boys up front battling it out. They put a pretty good battle between them, and it was good to see. I'm looking forward to this Destinations, but.
Yeah, Dylan Ferrandis was out front, dominating, and then there was a part where he goes off the track right into the fence, and then he was stuck in the fence, and the fans had to help him get his bike out of there, and he gave him a little fist pump after. I was like, that's what's up.
Yeah, that thing sucks whenever that happens to you, your bike gets stuck on a chain link fence or something, the knobbies just get stuck right there. That's the worst, man.
It was a Chinese thumb trap. The harder you try and pull away from it, the tighter it gets.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and then Harrison also, he was in third place and he went down. That's pretty much how they finished like that. Ferrandis killed it. Aaron Plessinger got second. Shane McElrath was able to squeeze up to that third place.
Shane McElrath, who they didn't really talk about him that much, but managed to squeeze that third place.
Yeah, just very quietly snuck right in there. Good run for him. Chase Sexton got fifth. Michael Mosman was able to get up and get sixth. Colt Nichols, who also fell, he was in fourth whenever he fell. He dropped back to seventh.
Yep.
Savachi got eighth. RJ Hampshire got ninth. Alex Martin got 10th. Jordan Smith, 11th. Justin Cooper was there in 12th. Enzo Lopez got 14th. Cameron McAdoo was 15th. Hayden Melross, 16th. Martin Costello there in 18th. Jordan Bailey, 20th place. Not the greatest mud race for him.
No, definitely not.
And we just talked about Enzo Lopes, and going into this Moto 2, he was a DNS because he could not get his Suzuki started.
Wow.
How crazy is that? That is so crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane. That's
a big no-no. That's a big no-no.
Definitely not a good look for the JGR Suzuki team. That's not good, especially when you're the only Suzuki out there. So
yeah, embarrassing. It's not good for the brand, that's for sure.
Not at all.
Not good. So yeah, in the second moto, another new face gets the whole shot, and that's Cameron McAdoo, and it was a pretty big whole shot too.
Yeah, that was another quote unquote clean.
Oh yeah,
whole shot. It was good to see him up front. I'm glad. I'm very glad.
Yeah, he did really good too. He held everyone off. I think he led a decent amount of laps, but. Our first whole shot in Moto 1, Michael Mosman, he went down. Him and Cody Williams got into it, like really high speed, and both of them went down. So that's 2 whole shot crashes for Cody Williams this week. But yeah, it really sucks for Mosman. He had a really good jump. But yeah, when they got together, that was it. Ended that. But Jordan Smith ended up coming out in second. Harrison was there in third. Ferrandis was fourth. Alex Martin, he went down in that same place Barsha did right before that jump. So just a terrible weekend for him, being in second place in the points. We also Jordan Smith also went down. So many people, I think everybody went down. Pretty much everyone went down. Then we saw Ferrandis just working his way up through the pack. Ferrandis got Harrison for second, and then Savacci was behind them, and he's closing in, and Plessinger was behind them closing in. And those five guys, actually four guys, because Cameron McAdoo opened up like a decent lead, but those four guys were all running so close right there, and it was a pretty good race between all them.
Yeah, definitely a good battle. They put up a really nice show.
And then, Harrison ended up getting Ferrandis back, and then they all cut up to McAdoo, and this is where it just went down. They all caught up to McAdoo and kind of like worked their way by him like pretty quick. Harrison actually ended up taking the lead. Ferrandis was second, Plessinger was third, and then McAdoo was behind them because Plessinger made a super awesome pass on McAdoo on that uphill section, just wide open, just wouldn't let off, and passed him for third. And we saw Mitchell Harrison now, the other rock star Husqvarna rider, out leading laps in this race too.
Yeah, that was crazy how Ferrandis was like setting up to pass Plessinger and Harrison, and he just like kind of got stuck in that mud. You see him like trying to like push his bike and stuff. Like he was like just
he was doing the old walk. He's like Flintstones, Fred Flintstone.
Exactly. That was crazy.
Mitchell Harrison ended up leading. He led 5 laps of this race. He led more laps than anyone else led this whole race.
Yeah, he did good. He looked really good up front, and like I said, good weekend for the Husqvarna guys.
And then Dylan Ferrandis, he's catching up, and his number plate is just screwed. I have no idea how that number plate stayed on. It was flapping around so hardcore, and it looked like
that has to be annoying.
Yeah, I have no idea how it stayed on there because the top part was completely off, and it was flipped over on the side. That little tiny string of plastic was holding that thing together, and it was just bouncing around everywhere.
Yeah, but it didn't stop Ferrandis to take the win in the second moto as well over everyone, over Plessinger. And
that same corner where he pretty much got stuck, he was able to just fade inside. He took the outside route that time and, made it pass, made it stick, took it to the finish line with a little no-footer, one-hander thing, little celebration there.
Yeah. He put on a show for sure. He definitely deserved it, and good for him, and good for that number plate. I hope you guys have stronger relationships than the plastic piece. So, for this moto, we have Dylan Ferrandis with first place, Aaron Plessinger in second place, Joey Savacci with third place, Mitchell Harrison in fourth, Cameron McAdoo ended up staying in the top 5. Good for him. Justin Cooper in sixth place, Alex Martin in seventh. Not a really good show for him. He definitely having bad weekends. Chase Sexton in 8th. Austin Faulkner in 9th place after that 23rd in the first moto. He managed to catch some points here. Colt Nichols in 10th. RJ in 11th. Had more faith in that, but I understand it rained. Jordan Smith in 12th. Michael Mosman in 13th. Shane McElrath in 14th. Ramilet Alves in 15th. Luke Renslin in 16th. Jordan Bailey 17th, Hayden Melross 18th, Dakota Alex in 19th, and then Sean Control in 20th place. Enzo Lopez, like you said, with the DNS. They marked it as a DNF, but definitely a DNS.
Yep, and looking at the points, Plessinger's still out front, really stretching that lead out. He's got 415 points. Second place, Alex Martin, 337 points. So Alex Martin, if he keeps finishing like he has been the last couple of weeks, he's going to lose his second place to Justin Cooper.
Yeah, I know, man. He's coming up. He's only a couple of points behind, and it could happen. And we only have 2 more rounds, so looking forward to him.
That's right. And we saw some great posts on Instagram, like from the mud races, really good posts. Chase Sexton just stuck under his bike. Austin Faulkner just looked like someone sprayed like a mud latex on him. It's just all over him.
Nice.
Ramiler Alves, who you were just talking about, said, "This weekend, my hand was pulling tear-offs more than it was on the bars." Yeah, let's picture him pulling tear-offs. But really good photos, just everyone just covered in mud. Always makes for some epic photos on there, so make sure you go check that out. But yeah, it was just crazy. I'm ready to get to, like I said last episode, it's kind of a shame that such a cool track 2 years in a row has to be the mud race. Hopefully we get some dry weather for these last 2 races. It is definitely coming down to a close.
Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. And we have some pretty cool videos in our Instagrams. You guys should go check them out. MXSX Podcast. Leave us a comment and tell us what you think.
That's right. And we'll see you guys next time for our first look at Bud's Creek. Peace.